All right, family. How's everybody doing tonight, man? I don't normally do lives on Thursdays, but I figured this would be a great opportunity for us all to catch up on what is going on with the Diddy case because this is absolutely crazy. This update is uh, we're gonna get into this. Sorry, I had my phone volume on, and I like to be able to check the chat from that. So that's what that echo was. I promise it's not gonna happen again. Not tonight, at least. I'm sure I'll forget it again because I'm ADHD as fuck. So anyway, you guys, here we go. We're gonna be getting into this. I just want to reaffirm to you guys that I don't think that we could ever possibly hate the media enough. But sometimes we're reliant on sources. And as much as I think that these guys are not the best source of information on most things, there are a couple of dudes here who actually do have some relevant stuff to say. And I think that they do get good information strictly because they're willing to pay for the information. Now, anytime that we're going off of information that we're getting from the media, we have to use a couple of things. We have to use critical thinking. We have to use just taking everything with a grain of salt. But I think that what these guys are presenting and some of what we're going to be going through today is pretty valid. And of course, I'm talking about the tabloid news, TMZ. But when it comes to celebrity stuff, and especially particularly legal stuff, they have a couple lawyers on staff there that are, their normal hosts. And they do have some information that they present that is relatively relevant to the situation. I do want to let you guys know that we never trust the media around here, but I think that they have a pretty good grasp on what's going on with this particular situation as far as what I've vetted, and we'll call them out on any BS that we see along the way. TBJ Reptiles, what's up? Thank you so much. Pierce, love you, homie. Glad that you're here with us. We are going to jump right into this, so let's get this cracking. Now, you guys remember this tape. Now, this is a little bit of an edited tape, but they have the full and unedited tape. This is going to be the nail in Diddy's coffin with this whole trial. And clearly, the key witness is going to be Cassie. Now, what we're talking about tonight is the witnesses in this situation. And I wanted to give you guys a little bit of positive news before we get into the bad news, because she's the key witness and she's not going anywhere. She's already, I believe, gotten 30 million out of this situation, and it wasn't enough. She wasn't just in it for the bag. I give up to Cassie because not only did she take the bag, but she's like, now I'm coming for your throat. I'm going to work with the feds. Well played, young lady. Well played. We swoon for you on this because you are handling this the right way. You definitely deserve to get that money with everything you've been through, but you're also trying to do everything in your power to make sure that this dude is taken off of the streets, which is the right thing to do. So I think that the way that she played this was cunning, and I think it was stunning, and I think it was brave. Now, the fact that she is showing up to court very pregnant is definitely going to have a huge effect on what her testimony, the weight that it has, the sympathy that it garners from the jury. So they're going to see this tape. You see this image in the background of her getting kicked multiple times, punched, and dragged like a dog through the hall of a hotel by a naked under the towel Diddy. And she's going to be testifying that there was a freak off going on. She didn't want to be there. She didn't feel comfortable. So she tried to leave. And then Diddy did this to her to drag her back. Now, what this establishes is violence and coercion. And that's one of the main things that they're going off. They're trying to do this RICO and sex trafficking. And this is going to establish that. So she's clearly the key witness. Robert Williams, much love, JD. If you had to pick one, which would you lose, the beard or the ink? Can I give up a testicle instead? Because I'm really attached to both. I've seen people have ink scraped off of them before non-consensually. So I think I would just shave the damn beard, homie, to be honest with you. Because seeing somebody have their ink scraped off of their arm because they were in a gang and they turned out to be no good, that's some real shit. I'd rather just shave my beard. It's much less painful. Oh, wow. Bro, she is incredibly pregnant, and she's supposed to testify as early as next week, you guys. Her testifying next week, this pregnant. This is the Cassie that the jury is going to see. This is a recent picture. Now, if you're a juror and you see a woman brutally assaulted and then she shows up pregnant, what's your first thought as a juror going to be? Well, I think Victor right here pointed out exactly what my thought would be. What chipper? Like, she is going to garner so much sympathy showing up like that. It is just insane. Christy said, I want to send love and light. Happy to be here safe. We're super happy to have you here, sis. Thank you so much. So this is what he's going up against. This is a bad deal for the diddler, man. I think that they tried everything they could to delay this case. Once they saw that Cassie was pregnant, this is a nightmare for the defense team. This is the worst case scenario for them, to have a super pregnant woman showing up, because the jury is going to be like, you absolute wretched monster, bro. He looks like such a monster when she walks in, guaranteed. D-Money Industries, no, as far as we know, Diddy is not the father. I mean, I guess anything is possible, but she's with another dude. She's married, and I believe I think she already has another kid with him. I could be wrong on that, but she hasn't been with Diddy in a decent amount of time, and she's with a dude that I believe seems like a decent dude, which is great. We love to see that glow up after somebody has gone through some traumatic, horrible stuff with a partner. They were in an abusive situation and they get out of that. They break that pattern, because it's so often that in these situations where you get in a really abusive situation, you become conditioned to accepting that type of behavior and that type of treatment. And you get like Stockholm syndrome, homie, when you're being abused and you're being beaten on and you get used to that. That becomes your normal. So when we see somebody get with somebody who's a better person, we always love to see it, man. You guys aren't seeing the video. You guys are just, are you guys really not seeing the video? You're just seeing me sit in silence. Oh my God, that's annoying. I'm so sorry, you guys. I am so sorry. That's wretched. All right. Well, we are gonna try something else then. Yes, Round Belly. I was trying to play the video. I'm sorry. You guys couldn't see how pregnant Cassie is, apparently. She is incredibly pregnant, y'all. Cassie is incredibly pregnant, and that's what we are seeing. We are seeing that she is going through it right now. And we were also seeing that the jury is going to be super sympathetic to her in this situation. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be a bad deal for Diddy. So let me try this other one, and we're going to jump right into what we actually wanted to talk about tonight. So let's get going on this and see how we do, if we do any better here.
Okay, here's what's going on with Diddy. So the court actually adjourned early today, and there are 45 prospective jurors. Now, what happens is the next step is that each side gets a certain number where they can just say, we don't want him. And you don't have to give a reason. You just, we don't want him. Each side gets to sort of knock people down for that. That's a really important thing because it requires strategy. Who do you want? What 12 jurors and 6 alternates do you want? And it takes some time.
And both sides will be working, actually, as we speak, have begun working on that. Because
it was supposed.
So are you guys seeing it now? Now you can see the TMZ. Okay, excellent. Thank you. And again, for those who weren't with us before, we don't hate the media enough. And I always take everything that they say with a grain of salt. But these guys are pretty dialed in this specific scenario. They're paying a lot of money for their information. So let's hear them. And if we hear bullshit, we'll call bullshit.
Supposed to happen today. But the defense said, look, we need some time. And the judge said, look, we will be dark tomorrow. We won't have
so Thursday, there will be nothing going on in court.
On Friday, they're called preemptory challenges. On Friday, they will do that. They will select the jury. And then on Monday, the jury will be officially sworn in and the opening statements will begin.
So basically what they're saying is that they have selected 45 jurors that tomorrow they're going to go through a second round. So they've gone through and they've checked out all of these different jurors. The prosecution gets to eliminate some. The defense gets to eliminate some. Jury selection is crazy. It's a crazy situation. It's super boring because you're asking everybody the same questions over and over again. And they were set to do like 50 jurors a day. They had a huge jury pool. Now, one thing I want to point out is they caught one of the jurors that they believe 100% was capping out the wazoo, trying to get selected by lying because they knew exactly what was going on, but they were trying to be on the jury, the jury for the Diddy trial. And when they started calling the person out on it, he threw his hand in the air and just yelled, "Diddy, do it!" Which I think is hilarious. I think that's absolutely hilarious. But now they've got it down to where they've got 45 jurors out of a much larger jury pool. They took today off. Tomorrow, they're going to go back through, and both the defense and the prosecution will get to ask them a secondary set of questions and do their final narrowing down to, I don't know whether they're going to do 14 or 15, but they're going to do their jury of 12, and then they're going to pick alternate jurors in case some of them get bumped out for one reason or another. You always have backup jurors. So that's what they're going to be doing tomorrow. And in the meantime, some major drama has popped up. Sarah Beamer said, JD, thank you for the prayers for Matt tonight. I actually met him here in the chat. This family is amazing. Thank you, JD, for what you do. Yo, we always want to send the most love and the most prayers and the most support to anyone who is in this community when they're going through it, man, especially a firefighter. Those dudes are heroes. I've never heard a song called Fuck the Fire Department. Have you guys? I haven't. I don't know. It probably exists. Everything exists, but I've never heard it.
Right. And the final jurors that they put in the pool today, interesting. It's always interesting to hear I'll say the excuses that people put forward, hoping that they don't get selected. And then you always wait to see whether the judge goes, okay,
I'm buying it,
I'm not buying it. Some very interesting ones, including Star Wars. Star Wars came into play in the court today as one juror said he was just at home. He said he's not working and he's at home watching Star Wars. Actually, he said he's binging, and the judge said, "Binging? What do you mean? What do you mean you're binging?" He said, "Oh, I'm just binging. I'm watching Star Wars." And the judge said, "Okay, you're watching Star Wars. What?" I think the judge thought he meant the movie, and he said, "No, Andor." And then he admitted, he's like, "I'm not working right now. I'm really kind of lazy." I don't know if the judge That doesn't sound like a good excuse. Do we know if the judge took that one? He kept him in. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, I don't think I'm binge watching a show on Disney Plus is an excuse that's worthy to get off of jury duty. I have heard some cool excuses to get off of jury duty. Now, I'm going to say this. When I was in Oregon State Prison, and the state of Oregon had me in prison for over 2 years at the time, I called my mom one day and from the collect phone on the yard, and she's like, "You just got a summons for jury duty." And I'm like, "Yeah, just ignore that. I'm not going to be able to make it." And she was like, "No, you know what? This actually pisses me off. They're going to try to summon you to jury duty while they've got you locked in prison. I'm going to call them." And my mom called the district attorney's office and started hollering at them. "You have my son locked up in prison. How dare you send him a jury summons?" Just long story short, I did not have to do jury duty. I didn't have to go.
I mean, you're asking to be put on the jury at that point.
I'm kind of lazy. I don't
have a job, so it's not like
I'll do a 4-week trial, but I don't think I can do an 8. It just gets boring.
Yeah, I mean, he was honest at least. There was another prospective juror who admitted it came up, and clearly the attorneys the defense had seen this on his social media, that he had retweeted something related to Diddy. So the judge asked him about it. He said, do you remember doing this? And he said, no. And he said, no, I don't, because I was doom scrolling. And then the judge said, "The hell's doom scrolling?
This judge sounds like a lame, bro. He doesn't know what binging is. He doesn't know what doom scrolling is. How old is this judge? I've not looked up much information about this judge in particular. We know about who the prosecution is. We know who the defense team is. The defense team is wild. Diddy has assembled the Avengers of a defense team. He's throwing all the money at it. All the money. But I haven't looked into the judge. The judge sounds really boring, bro. Like in his 40s, bro. Come on, man, 80 or some shit. I'm in my 40s, bro, and I know what doom scrolling and binging is, bro. I even know what bricked up is, thanks to you guys. You know what I'm saying? I get bricked all day, every day. He might have been testing the guy, Blaze. You might be right on that. You never know. He's 45 and a hipster with style. Who, the judge? Really? He's not a hipster if he doesn't know what doom scrolling is, bro. Get out.
What's doom scrolling? And he said, I was just jumping around on the internet. So the judge is learning some things here about social media.
Well, the judge also, I think this is actually really interesting. So this judge, I was a little surprised at this. I have a feeling he's connecting more with the young people in the jury. This is the judge.
Stop it. Get out. That's the judge. That's the judge, bro. With a backpack and an orange jacket, and he's rocking some Dre beats, and he doesn't know what doom scrolling or binging is. I was picturing like some old dude with white hair. You're telling me this judge, this dude, don't got no lingo, bro. You know, that's crazy, bro. Vicky Hartzell said he needs the wood chipper. Also, love you and Jackson. Big air hugs to you both. Huge hugs to you, sis. You guys are the best. P.S. My husband says Diddy needs the chipper. Hell yeah, he do. 100%. Big love to you and your hubby, man. From me and Jax.
Backpack, earphones, headphones, and
I'd only seen pictures of
tennis
him.
shoes.
I'd only seen pictures of him on the bench with his robe on, and he's just, I don't know, just seemed older.
But now that you look, it's like he's 45 years old, and the reality is there are a lot of judges who are in their 40s who are on the federal bench.
He just looks like any other commuter.
He does. I mean, tennis shoes and backpacks and all.
Headset on.
This guy's a regular commuter who grew up in the 90s. He's exactly my age. He's probably very influenced by the music of the 90s, which was suffused with Puff Daddy and Bad Boy Records. So undoubtedly, he knows a lot about the defendant in this case, and he's going to bring in some of his own sort of experiences to the trial. I mean, I'm sure he'll be very professional, but that's got to be in the back of his mind. He knows Puff Daddy.
Now, I'm going to get a little personal here, that I have a podcast, and one of the things that happened in court is we now have a new listener.
We
Him,
do.
that judge.
Yes. Judge Subramanian said that he will be watching and listening to the Two Angry Men podcast.
But not just
So this judge watches podcasts, but he doesn't know what doom scrolling or binging is. That seems sketchy. I think Blaze might have been right. He might have been testing this dude. He might have been going after this dude to sort of, check him out a little bit. Upthra, thank you so much for the support, homie. Appreciate you. JD, Diddy is all the way cooked, bro. Also, I got my pedophile treatment center hoodie. It's like I'm wearing a giant JD hug. My boyfriend just ordered one of his own. Diddy needs to go to the wood chipper. Thank you so much for supporting, and thank you so much for repping. That's one of my favorites, and I'm so stoked that you guys got that. It's a big, big hug for me every time you put it on, and tell your boyfriend I send much love and respect. Hell yes. That made my whole heart happy. Thank you so much.
not necessarily
Not
because he's a fan.
No, he's watching and listening because of something that your co-host, Mark Garagos, said on the last week's episode
Of Two Angry Men.
where he referred to the prosecutors, the 6 female prosecutors, as a 6-pack of white women.
That did not sit well. The prosecution actually sent a letter to the judge and fired it off and said,
I think a 6-pack of white women was something that you could order on Epstein Island, by the way. That was a bad joke. I shouldn't have said that with my mouth. Somebody said, Enlo said, Doom Scroll sounds like something from Skyrim or something. Absolutely. Absolutely. Sergeant Doom Scroll. Yo, Daniel Vogel, thank you so much.
Garagos is associated with this case. He's been consulting. And how dare he say something like this? And the judge agreed.
Yeah, the judge said, you cannot cross the line like this. And that's when he said, I will be watching. I believe Mark said something like, thanks as long as you subscribe.
The word was kind of wrong, Mark.
Right.
But the judge was essentially, the judge was threatening him with contempt. That if he made a personal comment like that, which the judge said crossed the line, I think the judge was saying prosecution will probably ask for make a contempt motion.
Now, see, here's the thing is that Mark Garagos is actually advising Diddy and Diddy's defense team. He's one of the advisors on the sidelines. So he also has a podcast with this dude from TNZ. So I think that they have a pretty good gauge on the information that they're getting on this, because they have an inside track here, which is part of what lends to their credibility in this particular case. In my opinion, I often disagree with the information that they present, and I think that they present it in a way, maybe even it's not just the information, but I think that they present things in a way that's disingenuous and like they're trying to run a narrative. But they have a really good inside track here with Mark Garagos. And so I do believe that a lot of their information on this is highly relevant.
The judge might agree to actually cite Mark.
Just to be clear, the judge was not promoting your podcast.
Well, at least
intentionally. Not intentionally.
Yeah, look, there's an element of this that is very entertaining. It is your podcast, and you speak openly about this case, and so does Mark Garagos. But being called to the principal's office in the middle of a trial and being told, like, I'm going to be listening, it's not exactly an endorsement of the podcast. It's going to make Mark probably a little nervous to be talking on the podcast.
Well, that's what I want to see. We haven't done it this week yet. I can't wait to hear what he does this week. Believe me, I feel like no idea, no control over that.
I feel like there's going to be a lot of you talking this week.
Let me tell you something. I've known this guy for decades.
He's going to push it.
It ain't going to be just me talking.
He's going to push it.
Promise you.
Hi, Nikki NYC. In my personal opinion, I think when it comes down to the all-female prosecution team, I think it's a plus and a negative at the same time. For one, when it comes down to feminism, I feel like if they can successfully prosecute and win this case, it's going to be a plus for them. However, with the predominantly jury that's like all male, predominantly male, I think it's going to actually backfire with the intentions of men nowadays. And this is just my opinion, where men are just like, okay, we want to be the head of households. You want to be the decision makers. I feel like if there's a predominantly male jury pool, it's going to make it a little bit difficult for them to actually prosecute. This is just my opinion.
I think she missed the plot with that. I do believe that she's correct. I think that with an all-male jury, or a predominantly male jury, because the majority of the people from the 45 that they're going to be picking from are men. So we don't know if there's going to be women on the jury or not, but we do know that it's more than likely to be a predominantly male jury. Now, I think having a six-pack of white women as the prosecution, I think that will hurt the prosecution's case with a jury of predominantly white men. But it's not because men want women in the kitchen, like she's saying, like, you know, down with the patriarchy. That's not what it is, homie. It's that I think that men are very aware that there is, and more aware than women, that there is a lot of people out there, a lot of women out there who will throw a fake case at a dude to get money or to get revenge. Like, it's not unheard of. We know that it happens. We know that a lot of the people who came forward with lawsuits against Diddy, there was so many of them, an overwhelming amount of them. And a lot of them were women just trying to get that bag, bro. And I think men are going to be more conscious of that. So, you know, I think they're going to be less inclined to hear what these female prosecutors are saying when it's an all female prosecution. And I don't think it has anything to do with wanting women in the kitchen. I think that it's going to have to do with men being aware that sometimes women do try to play that card to get that bag. And it sucks because I am a firm believer that if anybody tries to push a fake case and lie on somebody, that they should get the time that person would have gotten. And I don't care what gender, I don't care what color. If you try to put somebody away on a lie, you should have to serve the time that they were going to serve if they catch you in that lie. Because that's crazy work, bro. That's crazy work. But, you know, I think men are more aware of that because men have to worry about that. I don't think that it has anything to do with wanting women in the kitchen. I think that most men have moved on from that ideology. I think most men these days, I think that a lot of men would prefer to have a woman that works, because look at the economy, bro. It's crazy. It's crazy out there. But here is the thing. You're not just hurting the person that you're building a fake case on when you pull this shit. You're hurting the credibility of everyone who's been a survivor. You're hurting my credibility as somebody who was a sexual assault victim when I was 6 years old. You're hurting every Diddy victim. You're hurting every victim of sexual assault, every survivor, our credibility throughout the entirety when you do this. And that could come into play with a predominantly male jury and an all-female prosecution. John Remanufacture said, with a six-pack of white women, Epstein joke was really funny from Australia. My homies in Australia have a wicked, dark sense of humor, and I love y'all. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for riding out with me, even when I say some shit that's a little bit edgy, man. I appreciate it. Dominar said, well said, JD. I love you, Dom. It's so good to have you here.
Well, it's interesting because we'll see what the composition is, and we should know Friday.
Yeah,
we will.
Remember, all the people that we've talked about so far are just in the pool. They are not the actual jurors.
I do want to mention one other quick thing.
Dark Monster, we have a shirt that says pedophiles aren't people, and it is at convictclothing.net, along with the shirt that I'm wearing right now. I forgot what I was wearing. This is my pedos aren't people shirt. You just suggested it, Dark Monster, and I forgot that I'm actually wearing that shirt today. This is the pedos aren't people tank top. We have a t-shirt, we have a crew neck, and we have a hoodie, and all of my merch is at convictclothing.net. If y'all want to check it out, rock out with me. I appreciate it, man. I love it when I see you guys out there repping it, bro. Just keeping pedophiles afraid and uncomfortable as they ought to be. There's no place for them in society.
They can't find witness number 3 still. This is apparently an ex-girlfriend of Diddy's who is one of the alleged victims. And prosecution can't find her.
Right. Her attorney is trying to find her, and her attorney has said that she may not be willing to come and testify anyway. So
be interesting. Okay, we're moving on.
Okay, so that was from Wednesday night. It's Thursday now, dog. It's Thursday evening, and they still this. So here, let me run down the timeline of this with this victim number 3. Witness number 3 is the proper terminology on this. Witness number 3, the day before they started trial, Sunday, the prosecutor talked to them and they affirmed, yes, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to testify. And once I testify, I don't care about being anonymous anymore. I just don't want anybody to know who I am until after I get it out, because I want to be safe until then. So that was Sunday. Monday, they disappeared. They have not been able to contact them. It is Thursday. I checked, and as of like an hour and a half ago, they still have not been able to contact the witness or the witness's attorney, which is wild work, bro. It's wild work. Now, Diddy, as you guys know, throughout this, even while he was in jail, Diddy got in trouble for trying to obstruct justice, trying to intimidate witnesses, having people, he would contact people. He got caught contacting people through a cell phone in prison. You know what you're not allowed to have while you're locked up, homie? You're not allowed to have a cell phone. You're not allowed to have one of these. They caught him with somebody else's cell phone, and he was talking to people in there and having people go and approach witnesses or people they thought would be witnesses to either pay them off or intimidate them. So that's why he has coercion and obstruction of justice charges, because this is his pattern, is eliminate the witnesses, intimidate the witnesses, pay off the witnesses, throw money at it, make it go away. If the money doesn't work, throw thugs at it, make it go away. That's why he's largely been associated and alleged to be the one who was behind the death of not only Tupac, but Biggie too. As long as I can remember, everybody was like, yo, as soon as they died, everybody was like, Diddy did it. Diddy did it. And he's never gotten it. No one's ever gotten no justice for that shit, bro. Now they got somebody locked up right now on that Tupac shit. And that dude says, I was doing it because Diddy offered $1 million for the death of Tupac. And we ain't seen no case on Diddy for that shit yet. But this is Diddy's pattern, man. Diddy will intimidate witnesses. Diddy will obstruct justice. And now, right before they go to trial, the day they start the trial, one of these witnesses disappears, just off the map, off the face of the planet. And the damn lawyer, they can't get a hold of the damn lawyer either, which is weird. That's extra weird, because you don't have to get rid of the lawyer. So why can't they reach the lawyer? The prosecution just can't reach the witness or her attorney all of a sudden? That's nuts, bro. Let me know in the chat, did y'all grow up hearing that Diddy had Tupac and Biggie killed? Did y'all hear that too? Was that just some West Coast shit? Because everybody out here on the West Coast heard that. I grew up hearing that. Yep. Sure did. Yep. I'm seeing one no and everybody else is. And now I'm not saying that Diddy pulled the trigger, but he paid the trigger man. That's what we all heard. Suge Knight was another one that was insinuated with that. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so it's a overwhelming majority of people that had heard that it was Diddy paying for those murders. Now, I have seen a couple people say they heard it was Suge Knight, and that was another running theory for sure. And Suge Knight's in prison right now. But we still don't have any justice for the murder of Tupac or for the murder of Biggie. So I guarantee you, even if it was Suge, Diddy was implicated in some way, shape, or form. I'd be willing to bet on that. You know what I'm saying? What was that? Wait, hold on. Where'd that go? Somebody said something about Suge gave Eazy-E AIDS. Holy shit. Did Suge Knight really make Vanilla Ice shit himself? From what I understand, yes. That's how Suge Knight got Vanilla Ice to sign over his royalties. That's why Vanilla Ice didn't make a shitload of money from Ice Ice Baby. Because from what I've heard, Suge Knight got his ass and hung his ass off a balcony to make him sign, dog. And that's how, back in the day, that's how they was thugging. That's how they was doing. Just fucking look at how the whole thing started with, I believe it was Rihanna and Jay-Z, or maybe it was Beyonce and Jay-Z, where he just locked her in the room and he's like, there's only two ways out of here, out the window or signing this fucking deal. You know what I'm saying? They was thugging that shit out back then in some bad ways, bro. Upthra, I heard that all the time. I've known he's guilty for ages. Facts on that. Whatever said, that's not true in all caps. Prove it. I can't prove it's true, and you can't prove it's not. That's what I've heard, and I do believe that Vanilla Ice has confirmed that. I don't know which one you were talking about because you were super vague with your all caps, but you know, it is what it is. Is Vanilla Ice signed by ICP record label? I have no idea. I didn't know he was still making music. I did see Vanilla Ice live in Daytona Beach at the Hilton Ballroom there not too long ago, because I really just wanted to see him do the song from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2. Go Ninja, go Ninja, go! Go, go, go. And he did the old school version of Ice, Ice Baby. And then he did the new metal version. You know, y'all remember that abortion when he pretended to be Fred Durst and he redid Ice, Ice Baby as a new metal song? Yeah, I got to hear him play that song two different ways. It was a little bit crazy. Then once he got super drunk and coked out about halfway through the show, he just started doing karaoke. He was doing like, ain't nothing wrong with a little bump and grind. You know, like he was literally up there doing R. Kelly karaoke. It was super cringe, bro. But, you know, I've actually heard that he's not the worst person from people who know him, because I know some people in Florida that know him. Well, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jax to the chat. She's just returned home. Hold on one second, sweetie babe. Let me turn your microphone all the way up. Do a mic check, babe.
Check.
No, do a mic check. Use your inside. Big girl voice.
Oh, yeah, brother.
Can y'all hear Jax? Please let me know if you can hear Jax.
Can you hear me?
You're getting a lot of high Jaxes. Can you guys hear her?
I can't see the chat, but I just wanted to jump in and say hi, and I love you guys so much. And yes, actually, Vanilla Ice, he is a super cool person to hang out with.
Okay, there we go.
Promotions back in the early 2000s. I did an event that he was headlining, and he was actually really cool. But yes, he did the original Ice Ice Baby, and then he did the metal version. And it was interesting, to say the least. It was very interesting. He had a lot to say about what he was supposed to be doing back in the 90s versus what he wanted to be doing. So that was fun.
Mobstopper said, if you like Primus and Slipknot, you should check out Flagman. They're from Florida. I will definitely check them out. I actually met Les Claypool from Primus here in Eugene, Oregon. When they came through with Les Claypool and the Flying Frog Brigade, I met him and he walked up and he's like, hey, my name's Doug. And I shook his hand. He's like, what do y'all do for fun around here? I said, we smoke a lot of pot and take a lot of acid, Doug. And he said, y'all got any weed? And then we smoked a bowl. He was a really nice guy. Triple J Painting said, okay, I just got on. What did I miss? You missed about 40 minutes of stuff, man. But let me break it down real quick for anybody who just jumped up into this chat. By the way, I love all 808 of y'all. Thank you so much. If you want to hit that like button, it's free and it makes you handsomer, all the more handsomer. So what we've been talking about so far is that one of the key witnesses in the Diddy trial has gone missing. And they talked to her Sunday. She is an ex-girlfriend of Diddy's who was set to testify. Sunday, when they talked to her, she said, yes, I'm ready to testify. Once I testify, I don't care if you keep me anonymous. I don't need to be confidential. I just want to stay confidential until then so Diddy can't get to me. And then Monday went no contact, full on disappeared. And now it's Thursday evening, homie, out on that East Coast, bro. It's almost 9:00. And she is still completely incommunicado, bro. So she has just disappeared. And with Diddy's history of coercion, witness intimidation, and obstructing of justice, I think we can all get a pretty good idea of what's happened. I don't think she's scared. I think somebody scared her, or somebody paid her, or somebody disappeared her. That's my bet. Twitch, what's up, homie? Hey, JD, I just wanted to ask, how are you holding up, bro? Caught that video about the monster that held the little girl captive and saw how hard it hit you. You matter as much as the stories to cover. Hey, Twitch, I really appreciate that, homie. I'm just going to let you know, I've backed off just a tiny bit off of certain types of stories, and I know that some people have noticed it. I've gotten a few really rude, disrespectful comments about it from people. My mental health goes fuck all sometimes, bro. When I'm constantly focusing on stuff that's super triggering for me and what happened to me in my past, you know, I try to stay as loud about it as humanly possible, but every once in a while I try to give myself a break and I try to do something a little more lighthearted. I don't know if you noticed, I've even been doing some positive stories lately, because when my mental health goes dark, it's important and imperative for me to protect my peace, protect my recovery, protect my mental health. So I will get back to doing those types of stories, man. But, you know, shit about people hurting little kids really fucks my soul right up its ass, bro. It ass fucks my soul. So sometimes I got to back off it a little bit. Chevy, what's up, homie? Check out White Rapper from Orlando, Florida. Best believe. If you haven't yet, brother, much love, bro. Yo, that's my redheaded rapper homie, bro. I love that dude. Daniel Vogel said Diddy chipper. You guys, I want to do something since we got Jax here. You know, we went and checked our PO box, and we don't do that nearly enough. But we had two things in our PO box that people from this community sent us, and I want to do a reveal, and I want to say thank you. So somebody sent us straight out of the Blackout Rifle Company. Peep this out, man. So this is fresh roasted coffee that they call Freedom Nectar. My dude, this is beautiful. Thank you so much. And I believe, hey, Jackson's in the background. Did y'all see her sneak in her pretty little black dress? They sent us a bunch of chocolate cherry. Oh my God, bro. Chocolate cherry K-cups. That is awesome. And Morning Reaper. What is this Morning Reaper? Oh my God, medium roast. Bro, this is gangster ass coffee. Is there a note?
That's so awesome. Thank you.
Dude, yes, this is so beautiful. Thank you so much. We appreciate this so much. I drink 2 cups of coffee every single morning, and I'm going to be trying one of each of these tomorrow. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you. Now, this next one might be a danger package. This is from Leslie, and I don't want to put your full name out there because I don't want to dox you. But Leslie, if you're out there, thank you so much. I don't know what this is, but we are fitting to find out. Okay. This isn't meth, right? I have no idea what this is. It's packaged very cool. Dominar said, off subject, the Second Amendment grants us freedom to bear arms. My question is there a government agency to help those armless bears? Yo, bro, I'm so mad about what they've done with the Second Amendment in this country as far as like taking it away from people and limiting people's ability to have different things. All gun laws are unconstitutional, you guys. Redneck Gamer, stuck on Firewatch, making sure Marines don't do anything dumb. Thanks for making this Firewatch so much better. Redneck Gamer, hell yeah, appreciate you, man. I know that the Marines can probably be a little handful. That's why they're my favorite people, my guy. Sleeping Fugly, I just want to state that you're my favorite ex-convict, and I hope you get your CCW rights back. Thank you so much, homie. Big appreciate, big love and respect. This is do the heart hands. Roy said, hey, JD, thanks for the vids and entertainment and making peds afraid again. Life's been tough, but your energy and positivity has helped a lot. I love you, and I appreciate you, Roy. Thank you for being here. Now, I don't know what this is. I still do not. It's very interestingly packaged. Very interesting. Oh, my gosh. Whoa, look at this pen.
Oh,
that is amazing. There's a beautiful pen, and there's a handwritten letter. And I don't know that I should read this because it might be personal. So I'm going to read this later. but I just really want to say thank you so much, Leslie. We deeply appreciate it. And the packaging is super interesting, hun. That was awesome.
It was a little scary. Give me the garbage, please.
Because you never know what might be.
Not-
You know what I'm saying? You never know what might come in the mail. But keep the envelope so that we can do some return lettering. Gotcha Girl and Modern Day Warfare Boy. Hey, JD, slightly off topic, but I want to share my story, but I'm worried people won't see it due to the childish videos I used to post. Any tips or help? Here's the thing. If you want to tell your story, everybody has a story and you will find your tribe. Just like we've all found our tribe here, but it's all about consistency. Now, if you want to do it on YouTube or any platform, it's about the consistency, but shorts will help you build because shorts get seen a lot easier than full lengths. And then the full lengths, once you've built a community, your full lengths will get seen more. So my honest advice to anybody wanting to start out and tell their story and find their tribe is that you start off by doing shorts. It's also much easier. It for me, at least, being super ADHD, it's easier for me to do a 1-minute video than an 8 or a 20-minute video. So it's a great way to get your feet wet and get introduced to people that are going to vibe and resonate with who you are as a person. So I hope that helps. Mr. Ray, what is up, bro? Thank you so much. Appreciate the support, big dog. Hey, JD, wanted to drop in and give some support. Missed my last few live streams because I've been dealing with VA stuff. Much love from Florida. Keep doing what you're doing, homie. I hope that it's going okay out there in the VA. I have some experience with the VA out in the great state of Florida, and I was not impressed with how they were treating my friends, homie. I was pretty fucking livid with the way they were treating our heroes at the VA. There are good people there, don't get me wrong, but there's just so much red tape, and there are people there that just clearly shouldn't be there. You know what I'm saying? It hurt my heart to see people being treated that way, dog. So I hope you're not going through that with it. Drew Morris, Hot Springs, Arkansas, school superintendent husband just arrested for pedo stuff. We're trying to get her removed. Well, you know, Drew, if all goes according to plan, I'll be out there in Hot Springs next month, and I'm hoping that all goes to plan. That's not in Lonoke County, is it? Hot Springs is in a different county than Lonoke, correct? Really, really good friends with the sheriff out there in Lonoke County, Sheriff John Staley, and he has a great program in his jail out there. And I go in there and I speak to the clients that he has that are locked up, that are going through treatment out there. I know he handles business out there. I love Arkansas, Jesse Clark. Arkansas is a great state. There's some amazing people out there. It's beautiful. What's the update on the Alaskan Avenger? Kurt Mize, go to his channel. Go to the Alaskan Avenger's channel. He posts every single day, homie. He's out there thriving and living and changing the world, and we couldn't be more proud of the homie, bro. That's my brother. Donnie Drum, when my sis stood up to that musician, she refunded and said my dignity is worth more than 300 and cut future gigs. Thanks for the good vibes when asked. Hell yeah, that's what we like to hear, man. Always stand on business. Alex, what do you think about the new Pope? Diddler or nah? Well, I haven't looked into him at all. But, I mean, he's in the right position. Just saying. I don't trust nobody from, you know what I'm saying? I know a lot of good Catholic people, but I don't trust nobody in the higher ups there. If they're not a diddler themselves, historically, they've been complicit in moving diddlers around and ignoring the abuses. So, I mean, that's just, I'd like to see that change. I'd like to see somebody come in there and be like, you know what? I draw a hard fucking line on this shit. No more kids getting abused in these churches. And that goes for all churches. That goes for all churches, homie. I'm not just picking on one because trust and believe. Most churches have a history of this shit. Drew Morris, Garland. Oh, Garland County. Okay. Big facts. I'll look into that, homie. Smog Dog said, my aunt was just found in her apartment yesterday, overdosed from methadone and pills, and was there for a few days before found. I am so sorry, Smog Dog. Rest in peace to the aunt, man. That's terrible. A lot of the time when people use alone and they end up overdosing. A lot of the time it's a while before they get found, man. I had a really good friend who was in his car, and he had just left the sober house against my advice, man. He came to see me, he sat down, he talked to me, and he had been in and out over and over and over again. You know what I'm saying? And he said, "Hey, JD, I'm sorry, but I'm leaving. I just got an apartment." I said, "Homie, what has happened every single time that you've left?" He said, "I've relapsed." And I said, "Has it ever gotten better? Is anything out there gotten better?" He said, "No, bro, but I feel like it's different this time." Well, you know what? It was only a matter of a few hours, and he was overdosed in his car with his seat back real low so that nobody could see him using. And it was summer in Florida. And you know what happens to a dead body in the summer in Florida in a car with all the windows rolled up, bro?
Nothing good.
When they found him, he was unrecognizable, and he was a young dude. He was a fit dude. He was no Diddy, but he was a handsome motherfucker, bro. The chicks loved this dude, and he made a lot of money. But the money is what kept him getting fucked up, bro. He'd go out there, he'd relapse, he'd come back in fresh out the bushes because he fucked everything up. And then he'd get a little bit of time under him. He'd start making that money again. And then he'd feel confident. He'd go out. I think in the end, the money killed him. Money kills a lot of people who are drug addicts that are trying to find recovery. I remember when we got them COVID checks, bro, and I was working at a 142-man facility as a manager, managing all these dudes. Dudes would get that check and they'd go out and we'd never see them again. And then we'd see their obituary. We'd see them on Facebook in pictures where somebody put those photoshopped ugly ass angel wings behind them and it says "gone too soon." By the way, if anybody ever does that to me when I die, I want somebody to go run a fade with them. You need to go run if anybody ever puts ugly ass angel wings, JD, he was an angel on earth, gone too soon. Go run a fade with that motherfucker.
I got you, babe.
That's what's up. That's my girl. Hell yeah. Dom said, "We grieve because we love. The intensity of the grief often proclaims the depth of our love." Gary Rowe. That is a beautiful sentiment, man. I appreciate Shades. I know Shades will run a fade quick, man. That's my dog. Hell yeah. Love you, bro. Good to see you, man. Yeah, no, Shades will handle that shit, bro. Shades 100%. Shades bout that shit, dog. Hell yeah. Jax, I don't want you to break a nail. Let Shades handle it. Shades will douse that motherfucker, bro. He'll give him the old 1-2.
I've never broken a nail in that kind of situation.
Hey, Fred U.S. Marine said he got it too, man. That's what's up. Anthony M says, "I'll be your fade squad." I fucking love y'all, man. That's what's up. Yeah, no angel wings, bro. I was an asshole. I did better towards the end, but I was an asshole for a long time, man. I'm just glad I got to clean it up and put a little love back into the universe, because for a long time, the energy that I was kicking out, like, I was the same person when I was using. I was so damaged, man. And I bled out on everyone around me. I tried, but I was so lost, man. I like it much better today, where I can be clear and concise, and I can, see that I'm actually helping people and know what I'm doing. And I'm wrong and I fuck up all the time. And that's just part of being human. That's part of life. But like, I get it right more than I get it wrong these days, motherfucker. It feels good. I like that shit. Pragmatic Humanist, big love from Central Texas. What's up, my guy? We be loving some Texas over here. Thanks for what you do. Time with the fam is my get right, bro. Keep your head up like giraffe balls. Hell yeah, bro. Giraffes are a very special animal to me and Jax. The very first time that we talked, she was having a panic attack, and I remembered a trick that an old hippie used on me to get me out of a bad acid trip at a festival called the Oregon Country Fair. I was on a lot of acid and I was having a bad trip, and this old hippie came up to me. He's like, "Hey, bro, you okay?" And I'm like, "Nothing is okay. The world is not okay. Nowhere is okay. There's nowhere safe." And he's like, "Hey, man, do you like giraffes?" And I was like, "Huh?" He goes, "Yeah. So they have this really short fur, but it's very soft. So when you touch it, it's like running your hand through like soft feathers." And I was like, "Oh." And he's like, "And their long necks, you know how long their necks are?" And I'm like, "Long." And he's like, "And they have those little antennas. Think about the antennas." And I was like, "I'm on the best trip ever now." Totally turned me around. So when I first talked to Jackson, she was having a panic attack,
Okay,
man.
can I just side note here for a second? It was the first time that he ever, because we had talked on the phone before, but this was different. and he FaceTimed me. I was having a panic attack already, so I flipped the camera up so he was talking to the ceiling fan. And this poor dude was trying to talk to me about giraffes, and he's like, have you ever thought about petting a giraffe? And I was like, actually, I've done that. And the giraffe was eating food out of my hand, but then when the food was all gone, he was kind of a dick because he bit my hand, bro. And he's like, oh, okay, so let's try something else.
I mean, it was a valid attempt. I was trying to de-escalate the situation.
It was so cute.
Victor said, I'll give you devil spears then. Hell yeah, bro. Yeah, we got her out of that panic attack though.
It
eventually.
totally worked, because then I was thinking about that time that I was feeding a giraffe, and I wasn't thinking about what I was having an anxiety attack about. I don't even remember what that was about now.
Sleeping Fugly said, you love Marines and we love you. Let chaos reign. Oh, hell yeah, my guy. That's what's up. I fucking love y'all, bro. I fucking love y'all. More sore behinds from Diddy. Ugh. Not over here. I just watched an Avenger video about XL bully attacking a 2-year-old. Yo, head over Diecast. That was such a tragic shits, bro. That was such a tragic story. Such a tragic story. That's wild, man. That's wild. So hey, you guys, I think we've gone the full duration talking about this disappearing witness. So I want you guys to let me know, do you guys think that maybe she just got cold feet and she just decided, you know, from one day to the next, I'm not going to testify anymore? Or do you think Diddy got to her? And if you think Diddy got to her, do you think Diddy got to her to pay her off? Or do you think that Diddy got to her to scare her off? Or do you think that Diddy got to her by killing her? What do you guys think? I know what I personally think, but I want to know what you guys think. Her lawyer is missing too as well. Yes, Christina, which is super interesting. Nah, because the fact that no one can find her is the real telling part about this shit. And her attorney as well. I think she's been intimidated by Diddy's crew. Yo, Pope Meticulous said, so many of my brothers in the chat tonight. Semper Fi, bitches. I don't like Justin Bieber's music, but I do feel bad for the dude. Facts. I've never willingly listened to a Bieber song, but I feel bad for him. A lot of people are saying she dead. He offed her. All of the above, Alan. Okay. Diddy got her with thugs. Diddy got to her by killing her. She's gone. Oh, yeah, they're dead and gone. So I think everybody here pretty much feels like Diddy got to her for the most part. Alien organism, either fed custody or she dead. So here's the thing is it's the federal prosecutors who are saying that she's missing. So I don't think she's in federal custody right now, because I just think they would not be saying anything. You know, a much more important and relevant witness in this is Cassie Ventura, and she's not under federal protection at all. So, you know, I think if they were going to go after somebody, you know, and you know, protect somebody, I think they would go after protecting Cassie Ventura. It's super weird, bro. It's super weird. Dominar says paid off, which is highly likely. Autumn DeStefano, are you vaping? No, actually, what's today? Is today Thursday?
Yeah, it's been a week.
Yeah, it's been 7 days. No vape. Yeah, I'm on my 7th day, no vape. I threw all my shit away 7 days ago, and Jax is at.
Well, I threw everything away on Monday because I know that my brain will not remember dates. So I figured Cinco de Mayo was a good marker for me. I'll remember that. That's why my sober date is January 1st. I'll remember that.
Yes. My sober date is not, there's not a whole lot else to it. It's just the day that the feds, the Secret Service threw me on my face, and I was like, immediately I need to stop. This is too much, bro. When the feds are on you, it's time to get churchy real quick.
That's because the secret ingredient in that situation was crime.
Yeah, big facts. All right, you guys. Hey, and thank you so much for asking and keeping me accountable. I really appreciate that. Yeah, no, I'm not vaping. I'm still good. I'm seven days in, and honestly, I feel a lot better. Christy, I'm so sorry to hear that, sis. But you know what? It might be a little speed bump, but I wouldn't beat yourself up over it because that's how we learn. It took me so many times of trying and then going back to it before I was ever able to get and stay sober. So don't beat yourself up, sis. Dr. Dre Light asked, what are those headphones? These are Sure. I don't know what model, bro. I know they're Sure. I had to take my ass down to the Guitar Center and pick some up when I was looking at drum stuff. Drew Morris, good shit. Proud of you, bro. Thank you so much, homie. I appreciate that. Alien Organism, I'm proud of you, brother. Stay off that crap. Hey, man, I've never felt better in my life. 100%. Dom wants to know if Jax is going to start posting again soon.
Yes, I will. I've had a lot going on, and unfortunately, that's something that is, optional for me to do, not mandatory, and the mandatory things have to come first.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Sassy Madeline said, can't get off the methadone. Look, sis, I just want to tell you, I know that it could be disconcerting when you're stuck on something that's, helping you with your situation. I 100% am a firm supporter of Matt recovery. And I support, it's not the pathway that I chose. I chose just complete sudden abstinence, but I got to go to jail. I had the advantage of getting cuffed and stuffed, taken to jail, and I got to get through my withdrawals like that. You know what I'm saying? But I 100% want you to know that I am so fucking proud of you wherever you are at in that process. And if you're contemplating wanting to, get off of the methadone, methadone is one of the hardest ones to kick, sis. Methadone is one of the few things that can actually kill you from withdrawals. So please, I'm saying this just purely out of love for you and out of being so proud of what you are doing. Make sure that you do it in a way where you're coordinating with your medical professionals when you go to get off. Whatever they tell you to do, I'm not a medical professional, so I can't give you the right type of advice. I know it's going to be hard, but I 100% believe in you. You've gotten this fucking far, and I'll bet there are a lot of people out there who thought, yo, she's never going to get that far. I know there were a lot of people who didn't believe me when I said I was going to get clean, but look at you out here doing the motherfucker, bro. Look how good you're doing, sis. So just stay with it, and I'm so proud. If no one else has told you, I'm fucking proud of you every day, okay?
Me too.
Natty Native Noise. Yo, JD, sup? I hope she is safe and just got scared, but this is way too coincidental with the trial starting. But have you gotten to play Horizon Forbidden West on PS5 yet? I have not gotten to play that video game, and I'm 100% hope that she's okay, homie. I really hope that she's okay. But yeah, the timing is just crazy that she would be in regular communication up until the first day of trial. It says a lot about the situation. Dominar said, believe you can, and you're halfway there. Theodore Roosevelt. And if you're having trouble believing in yourself, any of you guys know that I believe in you, and Jax believes in you, and this fucking entire community believes in you, because we've seen people change. There is no denying that I am not the same dude that I was 6 years ago. Y'all wouldn't have liked me, bro. I was fucking messy. I was a messy person 6 years ago. I was walking damage. You know what I'm saying? So I can 100% attest. I could be a living testament to the fact that people can change. And I'm proud of everybody, wherever you're at and whatever you're struggling with, whether that be substances, mental health, just life, finances, the fucking economy, wherever you're at. I know that we all have our own struggles, and I'm proud of the way that you're dealing with it, and I love you. Chase is constipated. My guy, that's a whole ass thing. No pun intended. Fiber, bro. Fiber. I'm probably telling you something you've already tried.
Fiber, a lot of water, and get moving.
Yeah, movement. So I love you guys. I'm going to take off. Sassy Madeline, we're proud of you. Till the next one, y'all. One love. Oh, Bryce. Hey, family, what did I miss? The whole thing, Bryce. I love you, but we're jumping off stream, man. You can watch it on the rerun if you want. I love you, Bryce. Love each and every person here. Until the next one, one love, baby. Be good or be good at it.